Hey folks, it's David with the Random Makers here, or Toki. So, today I'm going to do an introduction to leatherworking, the tools that you need to start, and what you can do with them. So, let's get started. Right, so these are the tools that you need to start. You don't need any of those. They are fun and they do help, but they're not necessary. Some of these aren't even really necessary, but they just make life a lot easier. So, as for necessary tools, you will need needles or a speediol. You're going to want something that has eyes large enough to fit your sinew. You will absolutely need a knife. You can get away with an X-Acto knife or a hobby knife. I like this set. It's expensive and you don't need it, but you just need something to cut leather with. Now, things that will absolutely help are punches. Use these to pre-punch the holes because leather is really hardy stuff and it's difficult, and most needles aren't strong enough to punch through. So this I highly recommend you get this. It comes in a variety of different styles. I prefer the punch set with the changeable heads, and you just hit with a hammer and you punch holes. You will also need sponge and water. That stuff's pretty easy to come across, so don't worry about that. And an edging tool will make life a lot easier and will make your projects last longer. And then something to mark your leather with so that you can actually cut your projects out with accuracy. So, I'll give you a quick brief rundown of what each one does. Alrighty, I'm going to cut us a piece of scrap leather to work on for the examples. So, knife. Pretty self-explanatory. Use it for cutting your projects. And because leather is so thick, you might need to do more than one pass. There we are. Next is the edging tool. Use this at a slight angle to take the very corner off of your leather. What this is going to do is going to help round the edge. So, if you were not to do this, and you just had a regular flat edge, over time and wear, it would eventually start pulling the layers apart and you would end up with a very mushroomed end on your project or whatever you've made, and it would eventually start to wear off and pull apart. So if you edge it, that's part of helping it to stay in line with what you want. You can do both sides, and that way it keeps it nice and rounded. Next, we will talk about water and sponge. So use this to keep your work moist and also helps you with what's called burnishing. So you squeeze off most of your water and you're going to wet the edge that you just worked on. So you just need a little bit of water on there. Your next step is you're going to take canvas or a piece of wood and you are going to rub this edge until it has sealed over, and pretty much what's happened is you're sealing the edge of the skin and it's keeping all those layers from flaring out and causing a mushroom later on. And there you have it. As you can see, this edge is now a little glossy, shiny if you will, and this is it compared to an unburnished edge. Next, we have the hammer and punch. It helps to have something wooden underneath your work, and you line it up with wherever you're trying to put stitches, and you punch your holes. You withdraw the tool, and you continue. This variant, because it has several pins in it, if you want a nice straight line, you can have two in the last set that you did, and will help keep it straight as you move down the line, making all of your holes. And now we're going to stitch it together. Alright, today I'm going to be showing you a saddle stitch. It is the most common stitch used in leatherworking. What you're going to do is you're going to grab more sinew than you need. Synthetic sinew or thread, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to use. So, you're going to put them both on the same thread. And what's going to happen is you're going to use them and you're going to pass through the holes that the last was in, pulling tight the whole way. So, you start off by lining up your holes on your work, whatever you're working on that needs to be stitched together, and you're going to start by threading through the first 2 holes that you made and through the other side on the other part of the project. Now, you're going to pull them both through together, like so. Now, you've made a loop on this side, and they're both coming through on this side. You're going to take the top and pass it through so that they are crisscrossing through each other. And this is where you're going to start with your stitch and go down the project. Once you have them both going through the same hole in opposite directions, you're going to pull it tight, and it's going to cinch this loop in, and that one as well. Then you're going to carry on down, going through the next hole. You're going to come through, and then you're going to bring this guy through as well. And you're going to continue this all the way down the project, pulling tight after every stitch to keep it nice and secure. And there you have it. So once you stitch all the way down your project, you're going to bring both threads through on the same side, tie them off, cut them off, and you're done. So this is just an example, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take this apart. This could be used for another project, but there we are. That is how you use all the tools. So hope this helps. And if you're interested in seeing more projects, there will be more to come. And I'll slowly be introducing more and more leather tools, but I will be keeping with the essentials that I showed you. Alrighty folks, that's all for today. I'll be making more projects because I need to catch up on some of my leather armor and whatnot for martial combat. So, you have yourselves an awesome time. Catch you later.